Punctuation is fun by itself, but have you ever considered the unmitigated joy of punctuation that occurs in pairs? It's 2 for the price of 1, imagine that. Of course, you probably know that we're talking about parentheses, the beloved paired punctuation that occur alone so infrequently that the singular parenthesis is often mangled with attempts like paren or parenthesis. Now that's not to cast aspersions on those who use those misshapen terms, just to point out that you're missing out on the fun when you pass on the chance to say parenthesis. Not only that, but when it comes to talking about what parentheses do, the delightful truth is that they do parenthesis, which is an ancient Greek word that describes the thing that parentheses do. But don't take my word for it. If we're talking about ancient words about words, I'd prefer to defer to my dear friend and colleague, the director of the Quintilian Institute of Words About Words, who, and I quote, explained parenthesis in this way. Parenthesis is an injection or insertion, a process of putting a word or phrase into the middle of some other longer phrase or clause. When you parenthesize, you add content that embellishes your sentences in exciting but non-essential ways. In other words, parenthetical material can be omitted without damaging or changing the fundamental meaning of the sentence. They can be used to mark off a bonus modifier, like the pie, banana cream, was a delightful conclusion to the meal. They can give you an opportunity to rephrase or explain something. Rhetoric, the ancient art of persuasion, is a hoot. When you parenthesize, you can editorialize or add commentary. I won't be coming over on Thursday, by far the worst day of the week, because I don't think I'll want to. Or just toss in some other discussion, why not? I was thinking of promising myself some ice cream after I went to Richard's. I'm pretty sure I told you that yesterday, but anywho, because that's the only way I'm going to get through it, since Richard is notoriously dull. See what I mean? Parentheses give you ample opportunity to add zip and pizzazz to your sentences. But as always, the serious among us look upon such playfulness as a distraction, and parentheses make themselves easy targets for the humorless for one key reason. By their very nature, parentheses say that what's inside them isn't very important. We've talked about this before, but while parentheses are always a sign of parenthesis, they aren't the only punctuation marks that can do that job. You can parenthesize with commas. I was thinking about cheese, that tasty yellow treat, the last time I visited the zoo. With dashes. I was thinking about cheese, that tasty yellow treat, the last time I visited the zoo. And, of course, with parentheses. I was thinking about cheese, that tasty yellow treat, the last time I visited the zoo. As you may have heard, where dashes emphasize the parenthetical material, parentheses de-emphasize it. You could think of commas speaking, dashes shouting, and parentheses whispering. Even with all 3 sentences saying the same things, it would be a lot harder to justify deleting material stitched in with dashes than the material secured by parentheses. But that's not to say that dashes are always better, even though dashes are the supreme punctuation mark. There can be a value in telling your readers that the information you're presenting to them is interesting and worthwhile, but not essential. It helps them to prioritize their attention, which is awfully polite. So parentheses are useful tools that allow writers to include information while also giving readers a sign that they'll get by just fine without it. Parenthetical material may not be essential, but that doesn't mean that it's always a waste of time. Sometimes writing and punctuation can do more than just transmit information. And that, my friends, is how you make writing more fun than perfunctory.